guys, welcome back to my channel, to Time of My Life, the channel that is all about intentional and abundant living. I'm Deandra, and in the spirit of abundance and intentionality, I would like to share my April read. Oh my goodness, this book was just too good. Too good. I just completed it, and all I can say in one word is delicious. I have never been captivated by a book like this one in my whole entire life. Now, mind you, I'm an avid reader now, and that is a result of wanting to be intentional about just diversifying my reading and all that kind of stuff like that. And also, I'm just learning more, right? That was one of my goals for this year. And I was researching books, that were of different genres, because I had about 16 that I wanted to read this year, all of, different genres like romance, classical books, novels, that I had some history there. I just wanted to, like I said, diversify my reading this year. And this book came highly recommended. And I was like, I don't know if this is going to be one of those soppy novels, because that's not like really my thing. Now, mind you, I'm a hopeless romantic, but I wasn't really. I'm like a self-help girl, right? Give me the books that can add value to my life is what I used to think. Like in my early 20s, I would read, and all the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich. What else is out there? The Richest Man in Babylon. Like, those were my type of books. But honey, now that I've gotten into fiction, there's no turning back. So good. So let's get into it. So what made 7 Days in June so good? Firstly, let's get a recap of the characters, which are Eva and Shane. So they are these little kids not little kids, high school kids that connected when they were about 17 years old, and they just had like this intense weekend in June, and then it ended abruptly, and they got to reconnect as adults. Now, keep in mind, they grew up to be very, very successful, both writers. Like Eva grows up to be like this erotic author, and then Sheen grows up to be like he's very mysterious. He had both of them has trauma, deep trauma, childhood trauma, and they trauma bonded, so that's what connected them, and they just grow up to reconnect, and their reconnection is really the meat of the book. Right? And it's just this buildup of this romance that ended abruptly, and this intensity, and it takes you on such an emotional roller coaster, because at one point I remember like crying, then I remember like rooting, for them. And I, just felt so saddened. And then a lot of it was relatable. I'm like, wait, I did not expect this like from a book at all. I literally did not expect this from a book. It's a contemporary romance, I expected romance, but I didn't expect it really to resonate so much with real life circumstances, And I even wrote down some of the themes that, I saw in the book. Like, for example, well, firstly, let's talk about how I could never in any life lend out my books, because I'm always like writing things down, underlining. So when people be like, oh, can I borrow that book? No, it has my innermost thoughts. And, it takes it. I go on a journey with my books right along with the writer. And Tia Williams, shout out to her. She's a Black author, and this is a Black book, by the way, talking about Black love. And this was so well written. I don't know if you've noticed yet, but I'm a hopeless romantic. I am. But, I'm just in awe. I'm in awe of this book. I cannot believe, I think this is the best book I've ever read. Honestly and truly. I think it's the best book I've ever read, and I've read a lot of books. Mostly on the nonfiction side, but this was incredible. So let's go through, I just jotted down like a few of the themes that I saw, in the book. So the first one is chronic pain. It made me just examine like how many of us go through life wearing like masks, for other people. We don't want people to know our innermost challenges or, our innermost trauma and our imperfections. And this book explores, this in, I guess it's a predominant theme just straight throughout: invisible suffering, trauma in childhood, wounds that follow you into adulthood, motherhood, second chances after growth, reinvention, Black woman softness, creative ambition, self-worth. And one of the predominant themes that, it's not obvious, but it had me thinking afterwards was success doesn't erase pain, and that healing is separate work. Like, for example, even Shane, even when they reconnected as adults, they were, they had done the work to move toward like healing. And like I said, without giving out too much, because I really want you guys to read the book. You're going to love it. Maybe we can come back and discuss it in the comments. But apart, when they were apart from their intense weekend, 7 days in June as kids, and they reconnected, for 7 days when they were adults. And, they had done some work, but at their core, they were still very damaged. And they were such beautiful people. And Tia Williams does an excellent job at describing them. Eva seems like she was the epitome of beauty, with her curls and her, butter pecan skin and her dimple and all those kind of stuff like that. She does a really, really good job of really making the characters, make you see them. And then Shane is just painted as this incredible sex symbol who is very mysterious, but it's almost like he just always had like this heart, for Eva. But it just made me think like the most beautiful people carry such deep trauma, and you wouldn't know it, with the naked eye. But it resonated with, us in today's society, even in terms of being intentional with dating and relationships and all that kind of stuff, how you really never truly know what a person has had to deal with and what they're showing up with, that they're still dealing with, but you could have no idea. And so I think Eva and Shane's story is just so beautiful because they took each other with all of their damage, and they wanted to be together, and they both were willing to do the work. And it is just so good. I know I keep saying that, but it just took me on this incredible journey. I feel like I know Eva personally. And I'm like, this is what books do to you, right? They take you just on this incredible path that, when it's over, it's like, oh my God, I want more. Tia Williams, whatever you write, I'm buying, okay? You're so good at just painting a perfect picture. But yeah, this is what books do. And they, first of all, my vocabulary, some of those things, whenever I'm not sure of a word, I just write it like to the bottom of the page. So yeah, I'm definitely improving my vocabulary on this reading journey. And also it kind of gets you to understand, I guess, the world through a different lens. It's not like nonfiction, like I said, that I'm used to, but just in a storytelling way. I mean, it's better than a Netflix series. Hello, somebody. I found myself like going back and even rereading some of the chapters. And every time I put the book down, like I would put it in my bag, and then I realized like, hey, I want to catch up. And I'm like, who is this person? Keep in mind that I wouldn't say that I've always been a reader. In high school, I read, like the things that you have to read for literature in grades 10, 11, and 12, like your Animal Farm, what's the book with the kids on the island? Lord of the Flies, An Evening in Guanima, those kinds of things that we had to read. And why they were enjoyable, they were not like my books of choice that I would be like, oh yeah, I want to sit down and read them. And then, when I came out of high school, I started, like I said earlier, to get into the nonfiction with, just the personal development and that kind of stuff with like your self-help books. But I never in a million years thought that I would be this crazy over books. It is an incredible, incredible journey. And I wish this feeling for every single person. And let me just tell you, I knew this was going to be a romance novel, but like, it was like a build-up. So like when Eva and Shane like got together and they got to reconnect in that way, I was like, yes, girl, yes, 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 ma'am. And Eva plagues with like chronic migraines, and she's also a mother. She's a single mother, actually. She was like married at first, and then she had some things going on. My girl went through a lot, especially as a child. And not to spoil it again for anyone, but I was rooting for my girl. I felt like Eva was like a good friend, and I was just so happy for her. And oh my God, like when I thought Sheen left her, oh God, how could I say this without giving out everything? Anyway, when I felt like, oh God, Sheen is going to break her heart for a second time. And then like he had to deal with his stuff. I was crying. I literally was crying, and I'm like, what is this book? What is this book? But listen, this is the beginning of many books that I want to read. I mean, every chance I get, I'm reading a book. And it goes back to intentional living, right? I feel so much richer. My life is so more fulfilling now that I've taken on the practice of reading. I'm reading also the Celestine Prophecy, as well as Complete Family Wealth, along with Psychology of Money. I've had in my in my bookshelf that I got maybe about a few weeks ago that I haven't touched as yet. And then I just got The Alchemist along with Black Cake, and so many other books that I am so excited to read. You guys have no idea. I am addicted to books, okay? At my big age, I am just now getting addicted to books, and I love it. I love this journey. I love everything about where my life is right now. And the funny thing about life is that I think in life we go through these different phases, and you go through them when you're actually ready, because you could not catch me at this place before. But now it's like I'm so ready. Like I'm so much into my peace and my self-care and slowing down and being intentional just about living, the abundant life, and not just abundant in terms of, resources and finances and all those kind of stuff, because I believe that once you have the mindset that automatically comes, once you're intentional. I want to be abundant in all areas. And now I feel like, like I'm just taking this incredible journey of maybe discovery, if that makes sense. And that is just so beautiful. I'm watching my transformation, in the things that, I'm doing, and reading is definitely one of them. So yeah, it's incredible. I love it. I love being able to speak freely like this, unscripted, because I know that there are persons in the world that are out there that are just like me. And that is one of the reasons why I really wanted to start this channel, because I'm like, yeah, now is the time. You know what? Yeah. And I love it. I love it. And so if you are a person that just wants to slow your mind down, slow your life down, and really just get yourself in a place of feeling, I feel so accomplished after I finish a book. It makes me feel like a person that starts and finishes things. Like this book was about, let's see, 323 pages. It's rather thick. I think it may have been the longest book that I've read for the first quarter, because I've read quite a number, and I'll do another video in the books that I actually read this year. But it's an incredible, incredible journey. And I'm so excited to take it with you guys. I feel so, I don't know, I have glee. I feel very, very calm. I feel very, very peaceful at this space in my life. And yeah, I just want that feeling for everyone. So grab 7 days in June. Maybe you want this as a part of, you know, one of your book club reads, or you just want something that is so delicious. So delicious. Oh my God. I just wish I could read it all over again. It is so good. So that's enough rambling for the day, guys. Get 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, a Black romance novel. You won't regret it. And I shall see you next time. And before we go, if you have anything that you're reading right now, drop it down in the comments. You know, maybe you have a fire recommendation that, you know, I can benefit from, and also other persons who follow this channel. I would really appreciate it, guys. Bye for now.